first lectures, nervous system biochemistry, Dr. PhD Babar Said Hassan. PhD teacher, chemistry, biochemistry teacher, Clara Fatubekova. Guys, today's lecture is about nervous system, biochemistry, biochemical functions in nervous systems. Yeah. So now, presenting Dr. Babu Said. Okay, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Sayyid Babu Hassan. I basically belongs to Pakistan. I am graduated from Surguda Medical College. I'm gold medalist in my graduation. And then I have did my MS in the biomedical sciences, specialized area in the neuroscience. And my PhD from Comsat University, Islamabad. I have 6 months foreign exposure in the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis State. The basic domain of my research area is the drug therapeutics. We are going towards the treat the disorder, how to cover or maintain or establish the disorders within the human body. The microbial engineering, the medical genetics is a basic area. Currently, I have joined the International Medical University, Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. I am teaching the basic pharmacology, microbiology, molecular biology, and the basic neuroscience. Today, I have 5 to 3 publications with one of the well-known scientists in the Pakistan. If you can open the Google or you can Google it, my publication with the name of Wondrous Nanotechnology. That is the book chapter which is published in our national book, or it's the nanotherapeutics or the nanomedicine. The book chapter, we will work with Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan in the Pakistan. It's a 31-page book chapter. You can easily find it on the Google Scholar. You just write the Wondrous Nanotechnology. One of our colleagues, she is present in the France, and she is also the medical graduate, or she is working on the nanomedicine, nanotherapeutics, the plant therapeutics, or drug metabolism. We have a lot of work in the antimicrobial, antifungal, anti-parasitic activities in the Comsat University. Dr. Usman, Dr. Asya Nushin, and Dr. Humaira Yasmin. We have different collaboratory research projects. We have US, NRPU, and different funding agencies fund us to synthesize the new drugs, or we make the basically we are working for the revolution to the phytomedicine, the biomedicine. We want to get rid of the chemical therapeutics, and we turn it from chemical to the biomedicine. The effect of plant secondary metabolites like flavonoids, terpenoids, tannin, terpenes, how we can use these all biochemical compounds to treat the cancer, anti-inflammatory or cytotoxic effect of these drugs. We perform the different hemolytical assays, or the basic area is therapeutic or immunization. And in the NUST, you may be heard the name of lungs. NUST, I have 8 years teaching experience in Pakistan. In the 1 year in the NUMS, 3 year teaching experience in the Rifa International Medical College, Sadr Campus, Rawalpindi, and 4 year teaching experience in the Amna Sharif Medical College, Lahore. So today we are going to represent a very simple topic which is related to the basic nervous system. If we can talk about the nervous system, we divide the nervous system into the 2 parts, or the 2 halves. One is the central nervous system, and the other one is the peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system is based on the specific kind of cells. If you can go through the definition of the cell, cell is the simplest, smallest structural and functional unit of life. In the definition, we have 2 main points: structure and function. Yes. So the cell properly has its anatomy, like proper structures, like cell membrane, cell wall. If we talk about the microbial cell or any building block of the cell, nuclear membrane, different organelles, every organelle performs a specific function. We have different shapes and different kind of the cell regarding to the location within the human body or within the living systems. So the basically neurons is a kind of the cell which have the three major parts. One is the central body, that is called as the soma, and the soma has hair-like extensions which is known as the dendroids. Then we have the terminal extension which is called as the axon, and at the end of the axon we have again the hair-like extensions which is called as the axon terminus. So this is basically the anatomy of the neurons. Or neurons is basically control the nervous system. The cluster of neuron kindly group up and they can perform the specific functions. So synapse basically is the combination or the point where the two neurons combine together and conduct the electrical message in the form of the chemical messengers. So basically synapse is the connection between the two neurons. One is the first up neuron and then second one. The upper neuron is called as the presynaptic neuron and the second one, the lower one, is known as the postsynaptic neuron. So if you focus on the figure, so the upper part is known as the presynaptic and the lower one is called as the postsynaptic neuron. If you take any kind of the drug when you are ill, first of all, you must be asked the question from yourself why you are taking medicine. Why you are taking medicine and what will be happen or what is the response of your body against the response of that drug. For example, you on a daily basis or for example within the week or within the month, you can take the Panadol, Ponston, Dicloran. Have you ever think what is the basic mechanism of these antibiotics or the painkillers when you ingest them, or how they perform the different function and how they disturb your cell, or maybe they can enhance the response of your cell. Can I ask the question? Do you people know about the immunosuppressant drugs?
Yes,
Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Kindly raise your hand. Please explain. What is the immunosuppressants?
Those drugs that block immune response, like white blood cell activations.
Why we use these kind of the drug while we need the immune system very active fast, because if your immunity is strong, you are not going to be ill with the attack of these certain microbes. So why we are given the immunosuppressants, that drugs basically reduce your nervous system. Then what is the need of that drugs in the human body? Why we are using?
Because of this drug, because our immune system attack our own cells. That's why we use this drugs, because this drug block immune response, like white blood cells, antibodies activation.
If these drugs can reduce the immune response, for example, our body needs the white blood cells or the antibodies, because your body is continuously in the interaction with the surrounding microbes. You have lot of million of microbes in your environment, in your desk. When you are shake hand with your friends, their microbiota can be converted or turned on into your body. So immunosuppressant basically given to those patients, our immune system working on the two principles. You know the metabolism. What is metabolism? All the chemical reactions takes place within the living organism is called metabolism. The metabolism has two types. One is the anabolism, other one is the catabolism. C for cut, C for complex, or C for catabolism. When the complex molecules break down, they are converted into the simpler one. This is called as the catabolism. And when simpler molecules combine together, they converted into the larger one, and this is called as the anabolism. Sometimes issue is this, when our immune system work, there is the abnormality within our immune system. Our immune system produces two kinds of the cell. One is the normal cell and other one is the abnormal cells. So the immunosuppressant drugs when given to the patients, they can stop the signaling pathways of the abnormal cells. For example, in the case of the cancer, if you have the basic background of the molecular biology or the biochemistry, you know the cell cycle. Every phase of the cell cycle has a specific kind of the checkpoints, which is called as the CDK cyclin proteins, which can check the activities of the every phase. For example, DNA replication mitosis or the other processes. If they are not going to be performed well, they can stop that process or review the whole story. So in the case of the cancer cells, these checkpoints are working to fail and the cell is moving from the normal to abnormal. In the medical sciences, we have the basic criteria like we move from the normal to abnormal. We see with the eye, the seeing is the physiology of the eye. We see, this is the physiology. Why we are not seeing? This is the pathology. And which kind of the drugs given to the patient? This is the pharmacology. So we have the basic pattern of the medical sciences. We move from normal to the abnormal. So we can come back to our topic, which is synapses. So the brain is a major metabolical or the controlling center of the human body, which control all kind of the metabolism, all kind of the signaling pathways, which control the normal physiology and from normal to abnormal. If any kind of the abnormality occur within the brain cells, it's leading towards the mental disorder. We have two terminology in the medical sciences. One is the disease and other one is the disorder. What is disease? If we can get affected with the any foreign object or with the environmental hazards like heavy metals, we have arsenic, lead in the Lahore. If you can check the medical journals, we have several reports in the Lahore, New Delhi. The contamination level of the smoke contains lead, and lead is the heavy metal, or lead can affect our normal signaling pathways, or it can the mutagenic or the carcinogenic compound. Or even in the groundwater, we have more level of the arsenic according to the WHO, the World Health Organization. We have three toxic concentration of the arsenic, 0.1, 0.5 and 1 ppm. So if arsenic cross these limits, it can definitely, you can drink arsenic with the water, so it can also disturb your signaling pathways and leading towards the cancer or other respiratory disorder or maybe the something else within the cell. So that's why we need to revise the whole basic concepts and then we are moving toward the neuroscience. Neuroscience is one of the most interesting and difficult area in the medical sciences. We have only a few well-known neuro surgeons in the Pakistan, or I think it's 28 or 25 neurophysicians. We have total number of neuroscientists in Pakistan is 42 only, and this number is very low. Inshallah in the near future you will be maybe the future neurosurgeon, neurophysician or the neuroscientist in Pakistan, and you can serve your nation. You are all students belong to Pakistan or any other country? Pakistan. Okay. So this diagram basically shows the pathways of the neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter is synthesized and then stored in the vesicles. Can I use a national language?
Yes, sure.
बेसिकली यहाँ पर ये बताया हुआ है कि न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर आपके पास क्या होता है, कोई भी ऐसा केमिकल है जिसके जरिए से ब्रेन के जो सिग्नलिंग मैकेनिज्म होते हैं, वी कैन यूज द सिग्नलिंग मैकेनिज्म. बेसिकली इट्स द ट्रांसलेटर जो मैसेज को लेके जाएगा एक न्यूरॉन से दूसरी न्यूरॉन के साथ, दैट इज नोन एज द न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर. So when our body is producing the neurotransmitter packed into the specific vesicle, which is called as the neurotransmitter vesicle. Neurotransmitter produced in the presynaptic neuron, and then it's going to be fused with the terminal membranes of the presynaptic neurons, and then it's fused, or after the fusing with the process of the exocytosis. You know endocytosis, inocytosis?
Yes, sir.
Exocytosis is basically the eating and drinking of the cell, or we can divide exocytosis into the two parts. One is the endocytosis and another one is the exocytosis. So through the process of the exocytosis, these vesicles going toward the terminal end, they fuse here and they can rupture. When they rupture, they release the ions called as the calcium ions. Transmitter is released into the synaptic cleft. You know synaptic cleft? The microscopic gap between two neurons is called synaptic cleft. बिल्कुल एक छोटा सा गला बच जाता है, which is called as the cleft. So through this synaptic cleft, all the neurotransmitter coming into that gap, and then it's moved toward. This is the post-synaptic neuron, and it's moving to it. The post-synaptic neuron has specific receptor. You know receptor molecules. What is receptors? Anyone know the basic biochemistry of the receptors? Receptors are the molecule which is made up of the protein, or it will maybe be enzymes. So enzymes are the biological catalyst which is speed up the biochemical reaction being used up. So enzyme has the globular protein or the specific active sites of the enzyme and the binding site. Any one of you can know the concept of the prosthetic group and the cofactor? Prosthetic group is basically the chemical messenger which can act as a bridge, or it can bind the substrate to the enzyme. So, yes. So the transmitter binds to the receptor molecule in the postsynaptic membrane. Then here these channels are the closed, but as soon as the neurotransmitter binds to these calcium channels become open, and when these channels become open, the calcium ions move from the presynaptic neurons to the postsynaptic neuron. In this way, so the message or the nerve impulses pass from the presynaptic neurons to the postsynaptic neurons. We have the electrical barrier, or sometimes you maybe feel the current. For example, in here, when I was in the Bishkek, when you open the door of your Yandex taxi, sometimes you feel the electrical current. You know what is the reason behind this? This is the reason of your body physiology. You have which kind of the bonding in your skin? What is the type of bonding in the skin? We have CH bonding, which is basically called as the carbon-hydrogen bond. Your skin is organic in nature. Have you experienced that when you wash your hand and you see that you have only the bones? There is no muscles or anything else in your hand. Is this happen? No, because the organic compounds cannot be dissolved into the water. So you can easily wash your face, wash your hands. So this is the basic phenomenon that your skin has the CH bonding, which is called as the carbon-hydrogen bonds, or your skin has the organic in nature. So in the organic compound we have the central atom, which is called as the carbon. Chemical identity, I explained the whole slide in the picture. Next. Stop. This is the refractory period. Have you any concept of the action potential? We have the stimulus. You know, in the medical terminology, we use the term stimulus. Stimulus is anything which is called response. Anything which is called response is called stimulus. For example, these two friends are just sitting together and they start doing conversation on the political background, or maybe the conversation become very heat up. In the heat of moment, you just slap on her face. If you slap on her face, then you must be ready for the reaction, right? If you slap, then this is called the threshold stimulus, because in response, you must receive another very hard slap in your face, right? So in the same case, in the medical physiology, we use the term stimulus. Stimulus means anything which is called response is called stimulus. Or what is the normal resting membrane potential is the -70 millivolt. In the -70 millivolt, you do not feel any kind of a pain in your body or any allergic reaction or any kind of the disturbance within your body, because all of your membranes are on the rest. So when the threshold stimulus comes, for example, if I can pick your hand, I just put the needle in your hand very forcefully, you can feel a very severe pain, because that stimulus can disturb the -70 millivolt in your neurons. We have three kinds of the neurons within the human body. One is the sensory, other one is the motor neuron, and third one is the associative or interface neuron. Sensory neuron is the neuron which can carry stimulus message towards the brain. Motor neurons can carry response from brain to effector side. And the inter or mixed neurons are the neurons which can help both the sensory and the motor neuron. So when the wave of depolarization occurs, this can be moved from the resting membrane potential. So the first peak is called as the wave of depolarization, and after some time, when the pain is going to be reduced, your membranes going to back to their resting membrane potential. That is called as the repolarization. Sometimes you feel the wave of repolarization come below the minus 70 millivolt. This point is called as the hyperpolarization, and then hyperpolarization will become the resting membrane potential again. So we have the wave of polarization, from polarization to depolarization, then repolarization, or if it's become below the resting membrane potential, it is the hyperpolarization. After hyperpolarization is the resting membrane potential. When your membranes come to the hyperpolarization, you maybe feel, for example, if you continuously sitting in the one place, you feel the needle-like pinching in your maybe the feet or maybe in the legs. So it is occurs when the membrane potential going down to the resting membrane potential. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Next one. These are the two kind of the receptor in the membrane potential. For example, I already explained receptor are basically the chemical receiving molecule, which is the enzymes. Enzymes are act as the receptor. For example, if you give any drug to the patient, you have any bond in your fingers, in the foot fingers. So you can take the drug. You know the basic metabolic pathway of the drug. How the drugs work in your body. We have two kind of the basic mechanism. When you orally take the drug will be goes into the GI tract stomach, where the drug is the disintegrate. After drug is disintegrate, then dissolve or then distribute from stomach to small intestine. From small intestine, it crosses the barrier, it goes into the portal circulation. From portal circulation, it's moved towards the liver. Liver is the basic metabolic house of the drugs or the any other chemicals. From the liver, then some metabolism of the drug occur in the liver and some metabolism occur in the kidneys. So have you listened, for example, due to this drugs, the patient's kidney is going to be failed. But it's this drug effect on the patient's kidney or any other organs, because when the doctor is going to be recommend the drug, we have two kind of expectation with that drug. Maybe the drug has the desirable effect, or maybe drug has the undesirable effect. In the desirable effect, the drug will be treat the patient very well. We maybe use drug to diagnose any disease, or we maybe develop any preventive measures. For example, in the case of vaccines. Or when the undesirable effect, we have three kinds of undesirable effect. One is the side effect of that drug. For example, you can if drink the cough syrup, you already know with the Pulmonal or the Corex D or the any cough syrup, you maybe get sick after taking the dose of that cough syrup. This is called as the side effect of that drug. Then we have toxic effect, or after the toxic effect, we have the adverse effect. Adverse effect, in the adverse effect, drug may be cause any allergic reaction. For example, in the COVID vaccine, when we administrate the COVID vaccine into the patient's body, it will be get fever for the 2-3 days, or the maybe have the COVID-like symptoms. Or in the adverse effect, if the drug is going to cause the failure of any organs within the body, this is called as the toxic effect of that drug. For example, in the chemo, when we administrate the chemotherapeutic drug within the cancerous patient, you know they have the hair fall. The whole hair fall in the eyelashes, eyebrows, or all hair fall is being occurred because that drug can be affect the fixing point of the scalp or the hair receptor within the body. So these are the receptor, inotropic receptor and the metabolic receptor. We have two kind of the receptor which is used to bind the acetylcholine in the body. Now we have the classes of the neurotransmitter. On the chemical basis, we have the esters. For example, the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is basically the combination of the two chemical compounds. One is the acetylcholinease enzyme and the choline. The monoamines, you know about the amines and the amino acids. What are the peptides? Peptides are the, what are the peptides? Do you have any concepts of the amino acids? Amino acids are the biochemical compounds present within the human body. This is called the amino acid. You know the concepts of the compounds? Simple. What is compounds? When? No, not same. When the combination of two different atoms combined together, they are going to be formed the compounds. The simplest example is the sodium chloride. For example, we have sodium plus chlorine, or we can get the NaCl. NaCl is the example of the compound. Just like that, the molecular oxygen O2 with the covalent bond, the O oxygen become bonding with the similar oxygen atom. This is called as the molecular oxygen. When we talk about the similar atom, this is called as the molecule. Or when we talk about the different atoms combined together, we talk about the compound. So the amino acids are basically the chemical compounds, but they are present within the human body or within the plant's body or within the microbial body. That's why they are called as the biochemical compounds. If we can extract the proteins from the human body or within the plant's body or any microbe you are going to be work, without protein our body is not going to be survive, because protein even involved in the protein synthesis. So proteins are the very essential molecules for the human body. The amino acids neurotransmitters are the glutamate and the GABA. Purines, the adenosine triphosphate. The peptide substances are the vasoactive intestinal polypeptide, or the inorganic gases is the nitric oxide. You know, neurotransmitters also have in the nerve impulse. Any one of you can tell me the concept of the nerve arc? Have you listened the word nerve arc? Nerve arc basically is the passage. You all people are belonging to which semester? Fifth semester? Fifth semester means you have completed your half degree. Basically, if you talk about the nerve arc is the passage, is the pathway through which a message crosses the whole length of the neurons. The pathway is called as the nerve arc, or nerve impulse basically is the message. For example, some part of your body has a pain, so the sensory neurons continuously send the message to the brain that this part or the resting membrane potential of this part is not be in the correct value. So the brain is try to cope up with that situation, or it's going to be normalize the action potential. This is a chemical structure of the acetylcholine. The choline and acetyl-CoA, they are combined together and they form the acetylcholine, or acetylcholine esterase is an enzyme which can break down the choline and the acetic acid. Have you seen the acetic acid in your domestic use? Acetic acid is the vinegar, commonly known as the silica, or this is the acetylcholine, the physiological diagram. How acetylcholine, the same, the acetyl-CoA enzyme and the cholines, they are combined together, or they can be packed into the vesicle, or after the vesicle, the presynaptic neurons to the postsynaptic neuron transmission will be occur. The same pathway. Cholinergic receptor inhibitor, the nicotinic receptors हैं, we have the muscarinic receptor है. The basic difference between the two receptors according to their receptor binding site. The tubocurin, the non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocking drugs, Do people have any idea about the rehabilitation sciences? You know, some people fall or addicted of the drugs. When you are continuously taking these drugs, in the Pakistan we have the rehabilitation centers. We can basically give or demonstrate the relaxant or antidepressive medicine to that patients because their bodies become habitual to that drug. You know what is the basic mechanism of the nicotinic drugs or the sedative drugs? How they, what they will be, what is their basic function or the mechanism in your body, or how they harm your body? Can you explain? You know why you feel headache? Have you ever think why you feel headache? Anyone, please. Don't make noise. If you want to answer, you can raise your hand. When your blood becomes thicker, or it basically it's a resistive mechanism. The composition of the blood. You know the composition of the blood: plasma, RBCs, WBCs, and the platelets. Sometimes the plasma becomes thicker and thicker due to the accumulation of a certain chemical, or when the blood is flowing from the capillaries or the arteries, it becomes resistant. So when you have the headache, before taking any medicine, you can take the tea or you can drink 2 to 3 glasses of the water. You maybe feel better because for example, we have Discrete or the aspirin. These are basically dilute your blood. So when the blood becomes diluted, so the resistivity or the heat which is produced due to the resistance of the blood cells become reduced, and you can get rid of that headache. So these are the basically cholinergic receptor which is involved in all these kind of the healing processes. Now we are moving toward the glutamate. The glutamate is the main excitatory neurotransmitter of the cerebral cortex. Do not cross the blood-brain barrier. It is synthesized within the axon terminal. The synthesis, transminiation of the alpha-ketoglutarate, deamination of the glutamine, and the glutamate dehydrogenase. These are the 3 enzymes which are involved in the synthesis of the glutamate. Glutamate have the same receptor like the inotropic receptor and the metabolic receptor. We already discussed both these receptors in the very detail. Now this is the GABA. This is a major inhibitory transmitter of the cerebral cortex. It is found by the glutamate decarboxylase enzyme from the glutamate. In the 5th semester in our university, we have the courses like neurosurgical disease, neurology, neuroscience. So you have the very basics with the neurotransmitter. What is the inhibitory synaptic or presynaptic transmission or the postsynaptic transmission? So GABA is basically the inhibitory transmitter. It inhibits the electrical impulse or the electrical activities. This is basically the pathway which is involved in the whole process. How it will be going to be work. So this is the membrane channels. You know, in the whole human body, if you want to do any research in the basic medical sciences, nowadays we basically target the pathways. Because the pathways, if you are not working with the pathways, it means your research has not a single importance in the nature. You know the medical journals in the world? What is one of the most finest journal? Which one? Have you any idea? We have PubMed, Taylor and Francis. We have Nature. Nature is one of the world's best journal. You know, after the MBBS, this is a very general degree for you people. Or in the Pakistan, you have zero scope with simple graduation until you are not going toward any specialization into the surgery, or you may be going towards the MS PhD in the basic medical sciences. So, Nature is the basic journal in the medical sciences, plant, animal, agriculture. If you can get single publication in the Nature, it's a tag with you. You are the well-known, you are counted in the well-known scientist in the world. If you published any paper in the Nature, or we have the very tough criteria for the Nature publishers. We can basically work with the pathways. This is the TCA cycle. The enzymes are involved in the production of the acetylcholine. Sometimes maybe we don't need GABA, or we can GABA is the inhibitory transmitter. We want to stop the production of the GABA, so we can play with the enzymes. If you know how to play with the enzyme or how to reduce their concentration, this is the main or the basic area of the research in the neuroscience. They have the same receptors, or let me discuss the last slide. It's tough because all other neural receptors work on the similar pattern. The histidine or the histamine is the decarboxylase enzyme. Histamine receptor are the class of the G protein coupled receptor. In the Guyton and Hall, if you have studied the neurophysiology, you have the very well background with the G-coupled protein. What is the function of the G-coupled protein in the human body? Basically, the G-coupled protein acts as the receptor within the human body, or it can help to binding of the many kinds of the drug within the human body, or it is involved in the signaling basic molecular signaling pathways. The H1 receptor, the smooth muscle gland, vascular endothelial cell, and central nervous system, allergy detection activity of the CNS, or the hydrazine H2 receptor. Only we have the name of the receptor, which basically plays a very important role in the transmission of the nerve impulse within the human body. That's all about the whole lecture. Or at the end of the lecture, if you have any questions, you can freely to ask.
Thank you.